Indian cricket has been dealing with one major issue for quite some time now. And no, before we get down to it, I'm not talking about their lack of success in ICC tournaments. I am talking about the scourge of injuries which just seems to plague one player after another, and that too on a rather consistent basis. You've seen a lot of players come through, make an impact, but then be unable to nail down their spot in the squad, thanks in no small part due to the fact that when they are just about getting one run of momentum and they're able to start really showcasing their abilities on a consistent basis, one injury will come about and thus they're having to start from scratch. Perhaps no batsman really has had to feel that frustration as much as this man here on your screen, Shreyas Iyer. Now, Shreyas Iyer has had to wait a long time to even get his breakthrough moment, but every single time he seems on the cusp of kind of getting into a mode wherein he can become a consistent player in the middle order. One injury or the other seems to crop up, and unfortunately for him, his latest injury setback, which had started during the Border Gavaskar Trophy series that was taking place in India earlier this year, seems to be going further and further along, and what's more, it doesn't seem to be healing as quickly as it should. So in this video, we're going to talk about what it is that have been the history of injuries that Shreyas Iyer has had in recent times, and why it is this one is seemingly taking a little longer, and in his absence, what really could be India's backup plans or their contingency options for the near and immediate future. First, let's start off by talking about what had actually happened in this instance. Now, you would remember that he had made a comeback to the Indian Test team in the third and fourth tests of the Border Gavaskar Trophy. He played well enough, and most people thought that he'd take a couple of matches at least to really get back into rhythm, but unfortunately missed out on batting in the fourth test match, which was played in Ahmedabad, because he was feeling some stiffness in his back. Now, you remember that even prior to that, he hadn't been playing for some time. He had in fact been suffering from similar back-related issues, but was given the clean sheet, the all clear, and thus joined up with the squad. However, they was seen as a recurrence of the injury at that point, so he had to actually undergo back surgery, and he chose to go the surgery route despite knowing that putting going under the knife pretty much means a longer term option, but it was seen as a better option for him long term. He was initially targeting a return during the Asia Cup, which is set to be held, of course, from 31st August to 17th September this year. But right now, it does seem like that is going to be delayed, and it's not going to be an option for him to make his return to the Indian cricket team before at least, let's say, we don't really know, there's no timeline yet, but it doesn't seem like that he will be coming back in time for the Asia Cup. That seems very, very unlikely at this point, which means that it doesn't really leave him with a lot of time should he be able, or should he want to be able to make the World Cup squad, because after the Asia Cup, there's really only one major series, and that is, of course, a series against Australia at home, and then it's into World Cup mode. So the thing is that if Shreyas has to target getting fit, the best case scenario for him would be Australia, where he can get some game time under his belt and then hopefully be a part of the squad for the ODI World Cup. But the reason why this delay has been happening is because we've got to hear, we've seen news reports in that regard on, of course, we know that he's been in the NCA, he's been undergoing rehabilitation, and he's not the only one. You've had Rishabh Pant over there, you've got Jasprit Bumrah over there, KL Rahul is there as well, the likes of Prasidh Krishna were also there recently. So it has become a bit of an issue, but in his case, you remember, back injury, pretty sensitive thing, and it doesn't seem like the pain is going away anytime soon. How do we know this? Because a BCCI source told in the newspaper that Iyer recently actually took an injection for his back pain at the BCCI's National Cricket Academy. His back is still giving him trouble. Now again, you would remember that Iyer went under the knife in April this year, and the fact is that right now it's the end of June, and despite him obviously going under daily rehabilitation, it's still giving him issues, and he had to take an injection for his back pain. That's never a good sign that you're having to take an injection to presumably ease the pain, which means that right now, or at least for the short term, at least until the Asia Cup, if not the Australia series and potentially even the World Cup, India need to be looking at options. Now, the real question is, what exactly are those options? Because again, if you'd remember, yesterday we had done a video as well wherein we spoke about three players. One of them was Shreyas Iyer, the other was KL Rahul, and even for that matter, Jasprit Bumrah. Now, Bumrah obviously won't be an option for India at the number 4 slots, clearly, but Bumrah seems to be coming along quickest because his targeted return is for the Island series that takes place before the Asia Cup. But luckily for India, there are some options, although again, it is kind of mixed and they're not probably as solid options as maybe Shreyas would have been in the number 4 position. These are at least 3 options in the short term that India could potentially be looking at. Of course, there is Suryakumar Yadav, there is Shreyas Iyer's Mumbai teammate, and someone who they have been trying to make a fixture of the ODI side in recent times. It hasn't quite worked out as planned. You remember in that 3-match ODI series which India played against Australia, Sky ended up getting 3 straight golden ducks. Now, that's never a good thing. So he too has struggled to kind of impose himself in ODI cricket as much as he probably, as much as he probably shouldn't have. But fact is that he's not had the same kind of impact in 50 over cricket as he has in 20 over cricket. Sanju Samson, well, pretty obvious name out there really, especially when you consider the fact that KL Rahul has most likely been batting at 5. So you could potentially have Sanju Samson fill the number 4 slot. You've seen how it is that he bats at number 4 in the IPL. He's an aggressive player, looks to make strokes, looks to hit the big hits, does look to score quickly. He would fit the bill nicely, and in an ideal world, Sanju Samson is someone who should be walking into those squads come what may. But again, consistency has been an issue for Samson when it comes to his international career, but he does seem to be the best option. Of course, they could also, assuming he is fit, put KL Rahul up at number 4, keep Sanju to bat at 5, because if you remember, Sanju Samson had been told by the BCCI to prepare to be playing more as a finisher. So you could potentially bat him at 5, and KL, who has actually done well at 5, in recent times in ODI cricket, could also do the same job at number 4, assuming he's fit, because again, there's little known about KL Rahul's return date right now as well. You remember he underwent surgery on his thigh in May. He missed the World Test Championship final. He too is undergoing rehab. We don't know when exactly that rehab is coming to an end. So really, options right now are limited unless they want to take a punt and they realize that even KL Rahul is not fit, Sky is not cutting it. Do you bring in someone like a Jitesh Sharma, who was actually pegged for an ODI call-up sooner rather than later, play him at 5, play Sanju at 4? It would in fact just be screaming last-minute muddled planning if you go that route. But of course, there's every chance that you might not have a choice but to actually go down that route. Again, it's it's a delicate situation as things stand, not helped by the fact that the main person who was supposed to be playing that role is unfortunately injured and doesn't seem like he's going to be making his return for the Asia Cup or really anytime soon, because again, there's no real clarity. Even the Asia Cup thing is pretty speculative. We don't really know when thereafter he could be making his return. So the struggles as far as India are concerned for filling that number 4 slot continues. You'd remember that in 2019, the one big concern for India was the number 4 spot, because at the last minute you had dropped Ambati Rayudu, drafted in Vijay Shankar. That was a decision that didn't work out at all, and thereafter, once Vijay Shankar got injured, you were then scrambling furthermore for options. Here too, it does seem like a similar situation, but one that was thankfully not of the BCCI's own making. Iyer has been injured. The preferred backup at Suryakumar Yadav hasn't been working out, so you might be forced to look elsewhere, but there isn't that much time. So any decision that has to be taken needs to be taken very soon. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, you can let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel and tap that bell icon as well. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and download the SportsTak app as well. We'll get all of these news updates at the tip of your fingers. Also, don't forget to stay tuned to the channel for today and check out some other videos that you may have missed that we've uploaded. For now, from my side, goodbye.